Habits. Habits are regular tendency, behavior, or actions that becomes automatic through repeated practice. It's something you do often, sometimes without even thinking, because your brain has learned to associate certain cues with certain responses. In simple terms, habits are behaviors we repeat so much that they become part of our daily routine and shape who we are. Habits are like the invisible steering wheel of life. They quietly shape your destiny every single day. What you repeatedly do, even in small ways, determines who you become, the opportunities you attract, and the results you get in the long run. Today we unpack 5 habits nearly every highly wise person shares. You'll get what each habit actually means, steps to build it, real-life examples, and exactly how to apply them to your career, relationships, money, health, and leadership. This is so crucial because good habits compound over time. Just like small investments grow into wealth, small daily habits grow into big life transformations. Habit number 1, listening first. What does listening first mean? At its heart, it means pausing your own voice, literally and mentally, to fully take in what the other person is saying before you respond. Listening first is not silence. It's focused attention, curiosity, and the discipline of withholding judgment until you've collected the facts and feelings. When you listen first, you get better information, you reduce misunderstandings, and you create trust. People who listen first are often seen as calm, fair, and reliable, important traits that open doors in work and life generally. This trait can be cultivated in a number of ways. Practice the 2-second pause. Before responding in any conversation, count silently to 2. This prevents automatic reactions and lets you collect your own thoughts. Learn the paraphrase practice. After someone speaks for 15 to 30 seconds, repeat back in one sentence what you heard. For example, say, "So what I hear you saying is, this question forces understanding." Another trait to help with listening is the body language check. Lean slightly forward, keep palms open, and lower the volume of your own speech. This nonverbal listening signals you are present. Good listening skills can be applied in almost every area of endeavor to ensure favorable outcomes. For example, in a meeting, a project lead listens to a junior engineer's concern instead of dismissing it. The lead paraphrases the issue, discovers a subtle bug, and the team saves weeks of rework. In a relationship, one partner practices the 2-second pause and paraphrase. Arguments calm down because both sides feel heard, and the relationship has a chance to blossom. Think of listening like doing reconnaissance before a mission. If you run into battle without data, you'll likely pick the wrong target. Listening first is gathering intelligence, which will enable perfect and precise execution for optimum results. Habit 2. Thinking long-term. Thinking long-term means making choices with the future in mind, not just the next hour or week, but the next year, 5 years, or even a decade. It's the habit of preferring lasting gains over quick wins. It's about seeing the bigger picture, planning ahead, and being willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term gain. Short-termism causes feast or famine behavior, panic selling, emotional reactions, and burning out on shallow wins. Long-term thinking creates compounding benefits, builds reputation, enhances financial growth, improves relationships, and ensures steadily better health outcomes. Consider a farmer versus hunter. A hunter only thinks about today's meal. A farmer plants seeds, nurtures them, and waits months for a harvest. Long-term thinking brings bigger rewards. Consider saving versus spending. Someone who spends their paycheck immediately may enjoy today but struggle tomorrow. A saver invests, allowing money to grow over time. Long-term thinking can be developed in a number of ways. Before making decisions, apply the 10-10-10 rule. Ask, how will this matter in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? This gives immediate perspective to the impact of the decision. Write a future self letter. Write a letter from your 5-year future self. What do they advise? This trains your brain to prefer consistent service to future goals. Practice delay gratification. Train yourself to resist short-term temptations for greater rewards later, like exercising instead of binge-watching shows. Learn from role models. Study successful people who built empires, careers, or legacies over decades. Track progress. Break big dreams into smaller steps, so you can measure improvement without losing sight of the end goal. Long-term thinking is like planting a tree. You don't plant an oak today to sit under its shade tomorrow, but you plant it so your future self and the next generation benefit from it. Long-term thinking is like planting oaks. In a business, Long-term success would focus on brand, culture, and customer trust. These elements would pay dividends for years. In personal development, deep skill building, like learning an instrument or coding, takes time, but yields compounding advantages for the future. Habit 3. Practicing self-control. Self-control is the ability to regulate your emotions, thoughts, and behavior in the face of temptations, impulses, or challenges, so that you can achieve long-term goals instead of giving in to short-term desires. It's like having an inner brake system that helps you pause, think, and choose wisely instead of reacting automatically. It is the ability to act in line with your long-term goals, rather than immediate impulses. It means managing yourself, resisting unhealthy urges, and keeping your emotions balanced. It shows up as discipline, delayed gratification, and emotional regulation. Without self-control, people may make poor decisions, overspend money, overeat, procrastinate, or ruin relationships. With it, they can focus, stay healthy, build trust, and achieve success. Self-control keeps momentum steady. It's what separates plans from progress. Without it, knowledge remains theory and action evaporates. You can develop better self-control by using environment design. Make good choices easier and bad choices harder. For example, do you want to avoid scrolling at night? Put your phone in another room and charge it there. Work at small wins. Start with micro habits, like 1 push-up or 5 minutes of focused work. Remember, repeated success builds willpower. Practice temptation bundling. Pair something you want with something you need. For example, only listen to your favorite podcast while exercising. Also, practice delay of gratification. Learn to wait before acting on impulses. To build your finances, for example, automate your savings because out of sight would translate to out of mind. In a relationship, pause before reacting in an argument. This prevents hurtful words you can't take back. Self-control is like gym training for your executive functions. The first sessions are hard. Over time, the muscles adapt and bigger tasks become easier. Habit 4. Learning from mistakes. Learning from mistakes means taking valuable lessons from the errors, failures, or setbacks you experience in life. Instead of just feeling bad about what went wrong, you reflect on the situation, understand what caused the mistake, and use that knowledge to improve future decisions and actions. It's the ability to transform failure into growth and experience into wisdom. Wise people don't avoid failure. They extract lessons from it. Learning from mistakes means turning setbacks into structured feedback. Think of mistakes as raw data. If you analyze them carefully, you accelerate learning and reduce future errors. If you ignore them, you repeat bad outcomes. Consider a tennis player who reviews footage after a match and fixes footwork, which ultimately leads to improved performance. Learning from mistakes can be cultivated in a number of ways. A foremost way is the after-action review, AAR method. After any project, event, or activity, ask 4 questions. What was expected? What actually happened? Why did it happen? What will we do next time? Don't deny or ignore a mistake. Accepting that something went wrong is the first step. Identify what the mistake is teaching you. Apply the lessons to your next attempt. Change your strategies, behaviors, or mindset. Use the mistake as fuel for growth, not as a weight that holds you down. In a nutshell, move forward, don't dwell. Reframe failure as experiment. Label efforts as experiments. Even if they fail, you learned one variable that didn't work. Another useful tip is to share lessons publicly or with a peer. Teaching others forces clarity about what really went wrong. Be sure to avoid shame-driven paralysis. Mistakes aren't moral sentences. They're signal lights pointing to where systems need change. Think like a scientist. You run experiments, collect results, and revise hypotheses. That's how progress happens. Habit 5. Seeking counsel. Seeking counsel means intentionally asking for advice, guidance, or wisdom from others who have more knowledge, experience, or perspective than you in a certain area. It's about not relying only on your own understanding, but being humble enough to learn from mentors, elders, experts, or trusted peers before making important decisions. Seeking counsel is the habit of intentionally asking for perspectives beyond your own. It's not weakness, it's a force multiplier for judgment. Remember, no one sees everything. Counsel adds missing data, counters confirmation bias, and accelerates learning. A wise person does not confuse confidence with completeness. Irrespective of a person's level in life, it is always a wise thing to build an advisory circle. Don't rely on one voice. Have peers, mentors, and experts for different needs. Also, ask better questions. Instead of "what do you think?" ask, "if this fails, what did I miss?" Or, "what would you do if you were me with half my resources?" In certain instances, however, it's important to evaluate counsel from others by ensuring you get advice from someone with track record in the specific area. It's also preferable to have people who ask good questions over those who give quick answers. Finally, weigh counsel. Don't copy blindly. Synthesize external advice with your current realities, internal values, and constraints. Now let's pull it all together. You can start a simple, practical 30-day starter plan to not only learn but thoroughly imbibe these 5 wisdom habits. In week 1, listen first. Do the 2-second pause and paraphrase each day. In week 2, think long-term. Write your 1-year, 5-year future self letter and apply the 10-10-10 rule to one big decision. In week 3, self-control. Pick one micro-habit and use an if-then plan and environment tweak. In week 4, mistakes and counsel. Keep a mistake log for the week. Do one after-action review, and ask one mentor for a 20-minute check-in. After 30 days, pick one habit to deepen over the next 90 days. Like almost everything in life, habits can be learnt and unlearnt. Psychologists say habits are essentially our brain's way of being efficient, automating behaviors so we don't have to use mental energy every time. Most successes are not from one big decision, but from small, repeated actions. Likewise, most failures come from repeated neglect or poor choices. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Habits are simple to describe but powerful in practice. Each day you practice them, you tilt the future in your favor. Now the big question, which of the habits listed do you intend to learn, develop, or improve? Let us know in the comment section. In the description below, we have included a print-friendly 30-day wisdom worksheet with checkboxes and note spaces. You can use this and physically tick off each task. Thanks for watching.